Hey, what's happening? This new episode of Vlogs. It's your homeboy, Mr. Capone. Before I start, make sure you hit the subscribe button below. Hit the subscription button. Make sure you subscribe. And today's topic is going to be a series of topics. It's going to be how I knew I was going to be famous. So once again, hit the subscribe button. Share this with everyone. Forward it because I'm giving you gems, and I might not even tell these stories before. So if you want to know more about how and all that, this is where it's at. You know what I'm saying? This is on top of the dome. There's nothing script. I just knew the title that I was gonna do, and I just make sure I do that. And I'm gonna tell you how I knew how I was gonna be famous. Right? That's what I was gonna say. How I knew I was gonna be famous. All right. So let me take you way back. Okay, way back. Let me break down some klecha for you guys that don't know. Like, before I was a rapper, I was already hood famous. Like, if you youngsters right now banging or on the streets, whoever's like famous in the hood or running the show, hot shots, whatever they are, who you guys look up to or doing things or whatever on the streets, that was me in back in the days. And that takes a certain kind of caliber of a person. So before I go, this whole thing is gonna be a series. It's gonna be how I knew I was gonna be famous, how I met Snapper, how I met Mr.Criminal, Miss Lady Pinks. It's gonna be on a series. But let's get back to this story real quick. So how I knew I was gonna be famous. So to you guys, it's equivalent of people who are hot right now on the streets, on the street shit. Obviously, right now, streets are not as famous as it was back then. Today, TikTok is famous, right? So people who are popular on TikTok are the new cool people in our society of genre that we in. In the days I grew up, it was the G's, right? And this was before we were on, before I was a rapper, before there was anybody, any one of us on even TV screens or music, nothing. We were a very rare commodity out there. So to be popular, you would have to be hood famous, right? So in our days, I was hood famous. The days when it was the craziest, the 90s, those days when it was like active. There was always every hood. There was always five guys that everybody knew of. No matter if you're from South Central, the Valley, A1A, Harbor area, San Diego, SGV, IE, OC. I can keep naming areas. There was always, every hood had like five people that were kind of like somebody. You know what I'm saying? There was always the homie that was the the chin checker, the wrecker, the guy that every other hood was kind of scared of. You know, the guy that if he catch you slipping, you either ready for a beat down or something else might happen to you. There was always that one guy, right? Then there was always that guy that always got the ladies, the pretty boy, the player. Like, he pulls up and all the highness like, damn, but like, fools be hating, but he'll be stealing all the enemies' girls. He'd be going to every hood, and every girl be coming to his hood, and he has all the girls. So that was a number two important person in the hood. Then there was also the the well, we can keep going. There was 4 or 5, right? But at the end of the day, there was always that one or two that were well rounded, right? Meaning they were a little bit of gangster, but they weren't like that mean, maybe that ugly machine that had nothing to lose, but they were G with it. Then there was those ones that got all the girls, but they might not have been a soft, super pretty boy, right? And list goes on. So there was the 2, 3 guys who were like got the best of all worlds. And back in the days, that was Capone, me. So I was one of them guys in the hood. Like, every hood you went to, all the girls knew me. All the enemigas know me. They knew I was G with the business. The ladies were like, damn, he's good. Now, there was probably pretty boys, a little bit more prettier, or girls liked them, but they might have been soft when it comes to the G shit. Then there was some hardcore fools, like big old, maybe big old trucks out there, like built like machines and monsters attacking fools. But then Girls wouldn't like them. Everyone's like, eh, you know. So you have to be well rounded in the streets, and I was one of them vatos that was well rounded. You go to another neighborhood, they knew who I was. When I went to other neighborhoods, I knew who these two or three guys were that everybody would talk about, from the gangsters to the ones who were on the streets, the hood, that had respect and also got respect from the ladies. So every hood had theirs, and my hood had a lot of competition. Like, we had a lot of solid individuals, a lot of homies that got girls, a lot of homies that were with the business. So at the end of the day, we were Somos Pocos Pero Locos. We were small but crazy, and we had solid individuals. So to be amongst a few of my homies was pretty good, and we would be up against hoods that were way bigger than us, but our names were carrying very much clout on the streets. So just off that street ability to know that who I was, that was one of the main reasons I knew who I was going to be in the music game. Because as you know, other artists, you see other artists, and there's no disrespect to any artists out there, but some artists come up, they get signed to a label, they don't know what to do, or they do too much, they start acting super gangster on CDs, but their back history, they had no history. The history was a mystery. But when they got to rapping, they become this, that, hanging out with other hoods, their own hoods. Like, yo, you don't even come to our hood, but you hanging out with so many other hoods. Like, wait a minute, you even got respect in your own hood? There's a lot of them nowadays, right? A lot of them's in general, even back in the days. And I was a different rare case. When you see me first in the rap game, I was with all my homeboys from my barrio. I had homies from my barrio all the time. We used to go to car shows. We'd be 50, 70 deep with just my homies alone. And the first couple years, it was like that. You know what I'm saying? As I slowly graduated to be just bigger in the music game and went from streets to record label, right? But let's just get back to how I knew I was going to become famous. So in them days, I was that guy. So when I got locked up, I was in jail. Obviously, everyone is a turning point in every individual to like kind of do something positive in their life. And that was a certain time when I was already getting in trouble, been the most hated on the streets. Before the rap game, I was hated. So all my enemigos, all my ops were like, damn, we hate this fool. Like, because I was doing the most, taking them girls, enemies, you already know. So I was already that guy. So at that time when I was going through every court from LA County to Orange County to West Valley, San Bernardino County jails, Riverside, I was like tornado, like everywhere, like a cyclone. I was like everywhere. So I wouldn't stop. I was 24/7 in every hood, taking the girls, doing what I gotta do, doing the most. What a G supposed to do, right? So when I had the opportunity to become a rapper, that's when I knew I was gonna be famous. Because as long as you can rap, and I was able to rap, I already knew it's over. Like, there was not a question in my mind or a doubt in my mind that I wouldn't be a number one gun in rapper in the game. Because one, three, jacking your beat. Because on the streets, I was already hood famous. Like, hoods from far away would know who I was. So it didn't matter. Like, when you come to our day, everybody know, oh yeah, we know that fool Capone. I was already putting my circle on the map, along with a couple other homies, right? So I was already that guy. So when I became a rap game, I was like, now, instead of just Southern California, I'm gonna have to impress the whole United States of this homie rap. And I have full confidence that I'm from LA County, Southern California, the beast of all areas, and I'm already famous on the streets. What makes me not think I can do this in the rap game and become famous all around 50 states? So guess what? I dropped my first album, then my first song. Bam, like that, spread like wildfire. Confident, like, not even cocky. It was just being confidence that I knew. I knew what it was. I knew what I was. I knew I wasn't scared of anybody. I knew I was a G. I knew I walked into other hoods with CDs and put it there. I knew, like, everything. I knew how to be a street leader. Like, I created a label full of homies, the most ruthless homies that's supposed to be on the streets. I put them in. Oh, you ruthless, homie? Get over here. You can rap a little? caiga way, jump in, let's go HPG. Over 100 varos to 300 varos were rolling with us at one time. You know what I'm saying? So I was that guy. I already knew how to do all that. I wasn't scary. I wasn't one of those guys like, oh, I don't know if I should be cool over here. Or, like, I would go everywhere. I just had an no fuck given. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't matter. So by me being in the rap game, it was just obvious that, first of all, I was very smart. And, the ladies, hey, I had the ladies too. So I was well-rounded. Like, maybe if I was just a hardcore gangster, maybe they wouldn't like me. But I also got the ladies. That's what I'm trying to say. I was well-rounded. I was not just this bully on the block. I was not this pretty boy softy on the block. I was well-rounded. I knew how to make moves. I knew how to organize stuff, make money moves if I had to. I knew how to keep it gangster if I had to. I knew how to do it all. So what makes me not think I can do this in the rap game, right? That's what I seen. And then I looked at the rap games, people who were there before me. I was like, I already felt in my mind that I could do it. Ain't no big thing. You know what I'm saying? This is not something that I can't do. Like, I know how to make moves. I know how to do this. It's an easy win for me. Like, this is too easy. Like, this is me. Like, when you're talking about this was me. Like, there ain't nobody realer than me that I felt in the game. And I still feel like that. But at the end of the day, now I'm growing up. New people are coming up in time. And there's new realers of their generation. My generation was a different time. So at that time, man, I just knew we had that shit popping. And then right when we dropped, and like a real genius and a G that I was, I went to every state, every hood. I wasn't like some of these rappers nowadays, lazy. They sit on the, like, in our days, they were called like phone bangers, right? Nowadays, they're internet bangers. They go on internet, they talk a little shit on internet, and they put up their little videos, but they don't go nowhere, right? They don't risk their life. They don't go to enemy's territory. They don't got death threats. They don't show up everywhere, whatever. I've been doing that for all my life, and I know I'm solid, and I'm whatever. But at the end of the day, like, you have to take chances. Like, in our street days, we call it take penitentiary chances. You had to take chances in this rap game to make power moves. And I was willing to take it from New York to Chicago to Florida, even to Europe and every hood around the world. I was willing to take it everywhere, and I done it. And not only did it for myself, I did it for other, at that time, thinking solid camaradas that were just like me. Obviously, not everyone was like me, but hey, I opened the doors to get others like me. But regardless of that was their destiny to be wherever they are today. And whoever kept it solid, whoever kept it real, they flourished to as far as they can get. Me, I came up, and I still to this day doing things. You know what I'm saying? And I'm right now. If you see me right now, I know what this new time is. The new time is not like back in the days. We used to, gangbang. It's not like that no more. Yeah, things happen. Obviously, everything happens nowadays. But time has changed. This new generation is not like I look at a 16-year-old youngster, 15-year-old youngster today versus with a 15-year-old youngster back then. I mean, I had homies that were 12 years old, tatted on their forehead, get their tat blasted over here. We did so much crazy things at those ages. Now, 15, 16-year-old kids, it's TikTok time. So I'm gonna respect what time we live. I can't tell everybody you got to be a G. I'm not doing that. I'm just doing music. I'm just expressing my lifestyle, and people who relate to it will understand it. And now I understand the new generation too. But that's just letting you know how I knew I was going to become famous. Because people say, how did you know? How did you do it? How you did this, that? Because I had so many haters on the streets, and I learned from it. Only thing I did difference in the rap game, only probably beat up a couple rappers.
Talking. Okay. So let's get to the real nitty gritty. Here I go. I'm saying we get it ready cracking. I'm down for cracking. Oh, there he goes walking away. He doesn't like the violence part. He likes the talking part. So let's explain what happened over here. Ain't nobody jumped in for me. Homie got out of line. Fucking, we got into it. We started getting down one-on-one. Look, check it out. There I go. Boom. Homie goes on the floor. I'm bombing. Fucking fighting. Ain't no big thing. Everyone gets down. Ain't nothing special about this. As you can hear people saying, Capone, Capone, this, that, that's some gangster shit.
Had a couple beefs and never lost or whatever, like stuff like that. I never talk shit about no one. I never disrespect nobody. I keep it hush. When I was a youngster, I was quick to run up, put in work, be a fool, and I just get jail time. People throwing rat. I got ratted on. I got people always telling. It was just a dirty game, like just too dirty, right? Nowadays, I see it's even more dirtier. But obviously, I'm not doing that kind of thing. I'm in the music game. I look at, I'm not scared of anybody shit talking, so it don't affect me. But I'm not gonna go there and be running my mouth or none of that, because we were taught not to even run our mouth, to go handle it. At the end of the day, words are nothing. It's just like, why waste your time when you already know? You already know you solid, you keep it solid. And that's how I knew I was gonna become good, and that's why I had no fear, and that's why I'm here. So this is encouragement to little youngsters. Whatever you do, rapping, whatever, music, or any profession, even if you're trying to be a professional car dealer, if you're trying to be a businessman, anything, or taco truck or whatever you are, go all out, show no fear, and push it to the limit. Don't be scared of nothing. Because remember, if you scared, don't try to be a boss. It's not for everybody. This is bosses and businesses are people for people who have all guts, and they say no guts, no glory. You gotta have guts. If you ain't got them guts, you ain't gonna go there. So this is to encouragement to youngsters that want to try to do something, like go all out in it and do what you gotta do, man. It's just from my point of view. Much respect. It's your homie Capone. Make sure you subscribe to the bottom. I got lots of chapters about this. I'm gonna bring you the stories back and forth. Hope you enjoyed this segment. Hope you listened to the whole thing, and hope I give you some words of encouragement. How I knew I was going to become famous, because at the beginning, you might be like, hey, this guy's cocky, but hey, I'm just telling the truth. Eh? That's all I am, telling the truth, you know? But yeah, another episode of Vlogs. Make sure you subscribe to the bottom, tag everyone, spread the word. Your homie, Mr. Capone. And definitely leave comments below about what you think I should talk about, subjects. We can get to them. But let this one go, spread it out, let it know so you know, and then you don't have to ask anymore. Because there's 100 things to ask about Capone. I got 100 stories. All right? But we're going to tell them all. Much love. You have a good one.